Hi guys, my name is Amit Surana and in this video we're going to do CAT 2022 ka previous year questions from LRDI section. Now today we've picked up slot 2. In this video we're going to focus more on the easier sets. Now you'd be wondering, sir, CAT mein easy sets aate hain? Yes, of course. A lot of people have a thought that CAT is meant to be difficult. That means all the sets asked in LRDI will be super difficult to answer. But then doesn't that defeat the purpose? मतलब क्या point है एक टेस्ट ऐसा create करने में जिसमें कोई भी set कोई भी answer ना कर पाए? Then that's not a leveling ground for the right score, right? So here we are going to discuss two sets that are actually easy. And when I say easy, what does easy or difficult mean in this case? An easy set is something that is less complicated, that does not create a lot of confusion. This need not specifically be less time consuming or non-calculative, no. Right? So when I say easy, I mean sets that are easy to understand and can be solved without a lot of ruckus or a lot of chaos. Okay. So the agenda for the day is going to be that we'll be solving these two sets. The name of the first set is TRICCEK and the name of the second set is revenue versus employees. These were the two sets that were asked in CAT 2022's slot 2, which I felt were very, very easy and must have been done. Right? So instead of calling them easy or difficult, let's call them doable. Okay. So these two sets are definitely doable sets. Yeah. And you can find out in every year, every slots paper, we will have at least two sets that are super doable. And there will be two other sets that could be complex in its own way. All right. So let's start with the first set now. The name of the first set is TRICCEK. Normally, we've noticed that CAT doesn't come up with as a weird names, right? But yahan pe TRICCEK is basically just an anagram of the word cricket. CRICKE. Okay. So they've played with the names here. The name of the set is actually cricket, but then they've played it with calling it TRICCEK. Okay. Now this set is a distribution based and missing data based set. Okay. Although there was no data given in the form of a chart or a table, but you'll figure out when we move ahead. So here is the question. I give you some time to read the question. Probably hit pause now. I'll move out of the frame. Hit pause if you want to read this question, and I would honestly recommend that you do read this question before we move on with the solution. So now that you've read the question, let's have a quick look at it. So we have a big paragraph and 5 pointers here. Normally when you look at a big paragraph, you normally feel that this is way too long, might eat up a lot of time, could be complex. But ऐसा नहीं है. लंबा पैराग्राफ जरूरी नहीं है कि कॉम्प्लेक्स हो. लंबा पैराग्राफ कुड ऑल्सो मीन कि इसमें बहुत सारा एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया हो, कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स दिए हो, एंड मेनी कंडीशंस बेसिकली मीन्स इट बिकम्स इजी फॉर अस टू फ्रेम द फाइनल डेटा, है ना. तो चलो पढ़ते हैं. अ फ्यू सेल्समैन आर एम्प्लॉयड टू सेल अ प्रोडक्ट कॉल्ड TRICCEK among households in various housing complexes. On each day, so now you have to be very careful. On each day, हर दिन a salesman is assigned to visit one housing complex. एक complex assign होते हैं. Once a salesman enters a housing complex, he can meet any number of households in the time available. ठीक है? Number of households visited could be any number. However, if a household makes a complaint against the salesman, then he must leave the housing complex immediately and cannot meet any other houses. किसी भी हाउसिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स में अगर कंप्लेंट रेज हो गया कि ये सेल्समैन आ रहा है यहां पे, सो देन दैट पर्सन, दैट सेल्समैन हैज टू लीव द कॉम्प्लेक्स विदाउट विजिटिंग एनी अदर हाउसेस. ठीक है. अ हाउस होल्ड में बाई एनी नंबर ऑफ TRICCEK प्रोडक्ट्स. अगेन जरूरी नहीं है कि एक हाउस एक ही प्रोडक्ट खरीदे. एक हाउस, वन हाउस कैन बाई एनी नंबर ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स. दैट्स अंडरस्टूड फ्रॉम हियर. और मे नॉट बाई एनी आइटम. Often happens. A salesman comes to your door, and normally we don't see that happening anymore, but still a salesman comes to your door and we say, nah, I don't want to buy anything, है ना. तो ऐसा भी होता है. The salesman needs to record the total number of TRICCEK items sold. तो कितने items बिके, as well as the number of households met. कितने households को meet किया in each day. The success rate. So यहाँ पे एक not a formula, but then some mathematical expression given. The success rate of a salesman for a day is defined as the ratio of the number of items sold, so number of items, let's say I, to the number of households met by H, है ना? ये जो ratio है, this is called your success rate. Cool. Some details about the performances of the three salesmen, तोहरी, होकली, लाहौर. दोबारा जब आप सोच रहे हो कि ये बाबा मुंह से सुपारी थूक के बोल रहे, this is what we feel, but this is basically an anagram of Rohit, Kohli and Rahul. ठीक है? On 2 particular days are given below. This is not something that you have to solve कि यार ये किसका नाम है, ऐसा कौन सा क्रिकेटर. You don't have to do that, but just for the interest of it. So we have 5 points. In the 5 points, we've been given details about how many houses they could have visited, or the number of items sold, and we are talking about what? For 2 particular days. So 2 दिन के बात की गई है. Now after we have a good read at this, I think we should have a look at the questions. So we have 5 questions, out of which 2 are theta, question 1 and 2, and 3, 4, 5 are MCQ. Okay, out of which question 5 is asking for false statement. क्वेश्चन 3 and 4 में अगर आप देखोगे तो रेंज दिया हुआ है, एग्जैक्ट वैल्यू नहीं दिया हुआ है, रेंज दिया हुआ है. दैट मीन्स इट्स ऑल्सो ओके अगर आप ये पूरा बे जो है कंप्लीट ना करें. इफ यू डोंट एंड अप मेकिंग द एंटायर टेबल डेटा, दैट्स ओके, बट यू शुड एटलीस्ट बी श्योर ऑफ द रेंज ऑफ इट. ठीक है? सो दिस इज व्हाट इज गिवन. चलो अब इसके आगे बढ़ते हैं. सो वी आर गोइंग टू मेक अप अ टेबल बिकॉज वी वांट द डेटा टू बी एज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड एज पॉसिबल, है ना? डेटा को जितना ऑर्गेनाइज रखेंगे उतना इजी रहेगा टू वर्क ऑन इट. So what I have here is a table with the name of the salesman, T for Tori, H for Hockley and L for Lahore. We have day 1 जिसमें we have number of houses visited, number of items sold. Day 2 same thing, number of houses, number of items, and we also have a total part. Now a lot of you would ask me, sir, how do I know I should put up this column also for total? Because if you look at this, over the 2 days, all the 3 of them had the same total number of households. Each of them sold a total of 100 items. So this forced us to bring up another column for total as well. Okay? So now we have 5 clues. I think we can start with the first clue because it is very direct. Over the 2 days, all the 3 of them met the same total number of households. मतलब क्या? ये जो है दोनों दिन का टोटल, ये 3 वैल्यूज जो हैं ये तीनों इक्वल होंगे, एंड ये जो आइटम्स हैं ये भी इक्वल है. यस, फॉर्चुनेटली फॉर दिस वी बीन गिवन द नंबर कि टोटल ऑफ 100 आइटम्स बेचा है ईच ऑफ देम. यस, प्लीज पे सुपर अटेंशन व्हेन यू रीड दी स्टेटमेंट्स, क्योंकि इन तीनों का टोटल 100 नहीं है, each of them का total 100 है. ठीक है? So this value we can directly put off 100, 100 and 100. If you look at the other clues, you will realize के number of houses visited पे ज़्यादा कुछ data नहीं दिया in terms of numbers. So we are going to replace it with some variable, say x. ठीक है? Let me use a different color for the variable so that we can focus on it. So we have x, x and x. ठीक है? So all 3 days, same number of all 2 days for all 3 salesmen, same number of households visited. At the same time, number of items were 100 each. So we are done with the first clue. Let's have a look at the second clue. On both days, L met the same number of households. L ये रहा, दोनों दिन number of households जो है वो equal है. तो अगर ये x है and ये दोनों equal है, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? Both are equal, the sum should be x, so this will become x by 2. This will also become x by 2 because x by 2 plus x by 2 is x. यहां पे एक डर, also a reason to be very careful कि जब भी fractions आते हैं तब simple addition subtraction नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि फिर हमें LCM वगैरह लेना पड़ता है. So not to be scared of fractions, but it's better to avoid fractions as much as you can. Under अदर सर्कमस्टांसेस जहां पे हम फ्रैक्शंस को अवॉइड ही नहीं कर सकते वहां पे अलग बात है, बट जहां पे कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि ये अपना डिसीजन है इसे x बुलाने का, so this is also on us. So this time what we are going to do is, instead of calling this x by 2 and x by 2, हम क्या करेंगे? इसे x बुलाएंगे, इसे भी x बुलाएंगे. So x plus x is basically what? 2x. So let's call this variable as 2x instead of x. मतलब क्या? ये सारे भी 2x होंगे. Right? This is one way in which we can avoid using variables altogether. Yeah, so met same number of households and sold the same number of items. This is lucky. Same number of items, total 100 बिका, and day 2 and day 1 के number of items same है बोल रहे हैं. That means this has to be 50. This will also have to be 50 because 50 plus 50 is 100. Yes. So in case of Lahore, we almost have everything figured out except for the fact that X is a variable. Baki pura we filled it. Okay, at least in terms of X we filled it. So point number 2 is completely used, exhausted. Let's look at point number 3. H could not sell any item on the second day. Second day पे, day 2 पे कोई भी item नहीं बेच पाया. So number of items sold 0. Because the first household he met on that day complained against him. एक घर विजिट किया था, उन्होंने कंप्लेन कर दिया. So एक घर को तो डेफिनेटली मीट किया है. So can I say this should be 1? एक घर मीट किया था, कोई आइटम नहीं बेच पाया, आगे दूसरे घरों में भी नहीं बेच पाया. Why? Because इन्होंने कंप्लेन कर दी. Yes, so he could not visit any other households. That way we have 0 here and 1 here. Can I also fill up these two places now? अगर टोटल 100 आइटम्स बिके हैं, यहां पे अगर 0 है तो यहां पे बाकी के 100 बिके होंगे बिकॉज 100 प्लस 0 शुड गिव अस 100. नाउ हियर फॉर द नंबर ऑफ हाउसहोल्ड्स विजिटेड, if 2x is the total out of which 1 was visited on day 2, तो day 1 में 2x minus 1 house were visited. Yes, जो भी x की वैल्यू होगी, so 2x की वैल्यू होगी -1 क्योंकि एक यहां पर है, तो 2x minus 1 plus 1 is 2x. Done. So this way we also have something figured out for h. Point number 3 is exhausted as well. बहुत बढ़िया. Looking at point 4, Tori met 30 more households, not 30 households, very careful again, 30 more households on the second day than on the first day. So what do they mean by this? On the second day, number of households met, yes, is 30 more than this. Now we want this to be in terms of x. अगर आपको दिक्कत होती है डायरेक्टली समझने में, तो you can replace this with some other variable. से अगर ये a होता तो ये a plus 30 होता है ना, 30 more than the first day. ये अगर a है तो ये a plus 30 है. Yes. What do we know? a plus 30 should be 2x. Now as much as you can avoid करो नए नए वेरिएबल्स इंट्रोड्यूस करने में, क्योंकि फिर उन इक्वेशंस में आप उलझ जाओगे एंड यू विल वेस्ट अप अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम देयर. So quickly replace this a in terms of x. तो क्या करोगे? a plus 30 should be what? Total houses visited on the 2 days, 2x. So 2a plus 30 is 2x, or in other words, can I say 2a is 2x minus 30? या फिर a क्या हो जाता है? a हो जाता है 2x by 2 is x, 30 by 2 is 15, so x minus 15, right? So we end up getting what? Instead of a, we have x minus 15, and a plus 30 क्या हो जाएगा? x minus 15 plus 30 minus 15 plus 30 is plus 15. So now we have it also in terms of x. तो ये x minus 15 है, x minus 15 plus 30 is x plus 15. This is one way of going about it. But अगर ऐसे डायरेक्टली सोचें, I'll just give you a quick hint here कि आप ये एक एक्स्ट्रा स्टेप कैसे बचा सकते हो नेक्स्ट टाइम. अगर इक्वल नंबर ऑफ हाउसेस होते हैं x एंड x, है ना, जैसे L के केस में है x एंड x, तब तो इनके बीच का डिफरेंस कितना है? 0, राइट? इनके बीच का डिफरेंस कितना है? 0. अगर मैं इसे इक्वली डिवाइड करके आई वॉन्ट 1 टू हैव 30 मोर आइटम्स, 30 आइटम्स ज्यादा चाहिए, तो मैं क्या करूंगा? आई विल पिक अप 15 आइटम्स फ्रॉम हियर. इसमें से मैं 15 आइटम निकाल दूंगा और इसमें 15 दे दूंगा, राइट? फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से 2x, जस्ट फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल आई एम सेइंग 2x अगर 50 है, 2x अगर 50 है, तो मैं इसे कैसे स्प्लिट करूंगा? 25 एंड 25, है ना? 50 को 25 एंड 25 स्प्लिट करूंगा, बट इन दोनों के बीच का डिफरेंस क्या है? 0. नाउ इफ आई मूव 5 आइटम्स हियर, जस्ट फॉर एन एग्जांपल आई एम सेइंग, अगर मैं यहां से 5 आइटम निकाल के इसको दे दूं तो ये 20 हो जाएगा और ये 30 हो जाएगा. सी हाउ द डिफरेंस बिकेम 10. डिफरेंस बिटवीन देम बिकेम 10. तो जितना आइटम्स आप यहां से यहां भेजोगे उसका डबल हो जाता है डिफरेंस. तो अगर मेरे को डिफरेंस 30 का चाहिए तो मेरे को कितने आइटम्स भेजने यहां से यहां? 15, राइट? 15. तो इसमें से 15 में निकाल के इसको दे दूंगा तो डिफरेंस विल बिकम 30, राइट? दैट्स द आइडिया बिहाइंड दिस. Now again a little risky. If you are confident you can go with this directly, but अगर आपको लगता है नहीं यार मेरे को रिस्क लेना ही नहीं है, then you can stick to doing this also. ठीक है? So now we also have this in terms of x. Clue number 4 is also completely exploited. बहुत बढ़िया. Now in the table what data do we see is missing? We have no clue about the items sold by T on day 1 and day 2. इन दोनों के बारे में हमें कुछ नहीं पता, बट सम अदर पॉइंट इज लेफ्ट. फिफ्थ पॉइंट इज लेफ्ट. T's success rate was twice that of L's on the first day and it was 75% of L on the second day. So L का जो भी सक्सेस रेट है, नॉट नंबर ऑफ आइटम सोल्ड, सक्सेस रेट. सक्सेस रेट क्या है? वी सॉ सक्सेस रेट इज नथिंग बट नंबर ऑफ आइटम सोल्ड बाय द हाउस होल्ड्स विजिटेड, है ना, I by H. तो ये क्या बोल रहे हैं कि I by H 50 by X, इसका डबल अगर आप करोगे तो इसका और इसका रेशियो आ जाएगा. डे 2 में 50 by X का अगर आप 3/4 करोगे तो ये आ जाएगा, राइट? 75% माने गया है 3/4. सो आई थिंक नाउ वी शुड वर्क टूवर्ड्स दिस. तो बाकी का डेटा सॉर्टेड है, द रेस्ट ऑफ द डेटा इज फिक्स्ड. व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू इज टू एंश्योर कि अपन कंफ्यूज ना हो जाए, आई एम गोइंग टू कॉल दिस I1, ठीक है, एंड कॉल दिस I2. ओके, I1 एंड I2. तो क्या बोल रहे हैं? सक्सेस रेट ऑफ टी का सक्सेस रेट ऑन डे 1 क्या होगा? नंबर ऑफ आइटम्स बाय द नंबर ऑफ हाउसेस विजिटेड, है ना. I1 by x minus 15 is basically twice of L's day 1, मतलब क्या? 50 by x. Now we would be more than happy कि अगर I1 की वैल्यू भी अगर ना आए, बट हम अगर इसको x में भी लिख दें तो वी आर वे मोर देन हैप्पी, है ना. तो लेट्स सी इफ वी कैन राइट I1 इन टर्म्स ऑफ x. तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? I1 विल बिकम 2 into 50 is 100 into x minus 15 by 2. Yes, sorry, x minus 15 by x, not by 2, by x. सही है? 100 into x minus 15, ये 100 है, into x minus 15 by x, ये है I1. तो यहाँ पे I1 का वैल्यू हमें x के टर्म्स में तो आया है, बट इसमें थोड़ा भी दिमाग लगाना कुड बी रिस्की बिकॉज द x इज काइंड ऑफ इन द डिनोमिनेटर, राइट. तो हमें बहुत चीजें ध्यान में रखनी पड़ेगी कि x शुड ईदर बी अ फैक्टर ऑफ 100 और इट शुड बी अ फैक्टर ऑफ वॉट एवर x minus 15 कम्स अप टू बी, है ना. पर एक चीज तो पता है कि x हैज टू बी ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू 15, राइट. x का वैल्यू ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू 15 होना चाहिए, दैट्स वन थिंग फॉर श्योर. ठीक है, चलो, तो एक पार्ट हो गया. Now before putting this in and moving ahead, let's also look at the second part. तो second part में क्या बोला था कि I2, yes, I2 by x plus 15, ये जो रेशियो है सक्सेस रेट ऑफ T on the second day, this is what 75%, माने 3/4 of whatever L did. So L का क्या है? Again 50 by x. Yes, so if we rewrite this, क्या हो जाएगा? Let's try to reduce it as much as possible. तो ये by 2, ये 25 into 3 is 75 by 2x, and यहाँ पे क्या है? into x plus 15, है ना. So ये हो गया अपना I2 का वैल्यू. I basically just simplified this, इसे simplify करके फिर ये x plus 15 को उधर लेके जाके multiply करते. तो यहाँ पे भी क्या दिक्कत है? We have 2x in the denominator, right? I1 है, I2 है, इसको रख के कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या? Is there anything we can do about it? Of course, yes. क्या है? One fact that we often ignore is the total. यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है कि I1 plus I2 should be 100, है ना. I1 और I2 का जो टोटल है वो 100 होना चाहिए. मतलब 100 into x minus 15 by x, 75 into x plus 15 by 2x का सम जो है वो 100 होना चाहिए. So if we work towards this, यहाँ पे डिनोमिनेटर 2x है, सो वी कैन ऑल्सो ट्राई टू मेक दिस एज 2x. ये अगर 2x हुआ तो न्यूमरेटर एंड डिनोमिनेटर बोथ गेट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 2, इसे 200 करेंगे, राइट. सो नाउ इफ यू सॉल्व दिस क्विकली, 200 into x is 200x minus 200 into 15 would give us, या फिर एक सेकेंड, वी कैन ऑल्सो काइंड ऑफ स्टॉप हियर, make it even more interesting for us. ठीक है, before we move ahead with the LCM part, let's make it a little more interesting for us. हमें पता है इन दोनों का सम क्या होना चाहिए 100, राइट? इन दोनों का सम क्या होना चाहिए 100. तो व्हाट डू वी हैव? 100 into x minus 15 by x plus 75 into x plus 15 by 2x. This should be equal to 100, है ना? ये जो है ये वैल्यू 100 होनी चाहिए. So we see 100, 75, 100. I know अगर ये भी hundreds में होता तो 100 cancel कर देते. We can do 3/4 here, but we don't want to. So let's do it by 25. 25 4 times is 100. 25 3 times is 75, and this will be 25 4 times is 100. Yes. अब यहां पे we can get the LCM. 2x है, x है, LCM लेके आ जाते हैं यहां पे. So if this is 2x, this will be 2 into 4, 8. ठीक है. Now we have an equation 8x minus 8 into 15. यहां पे कर रहा हूं मैं. So 8x minus 8 into 15 is 4 into 30. That's 120 by 2x. So 2x common है. Plus 3 into x. That's 3x. Plus 3 into 15 is 45 by 2x is equal to 4 है. So 2x into 4 will be 8x. Yeah, superb. So here we have 8x and 8x to be cancelled. Negative में हो जाएगा, दोनों cancel हो जाएंगे. So we have 3x will be plus 120 minus 45. या 120 से आप 45 निकालोगे तो you get 75. यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? 3x minus 75 is 0 और 3x is 75. Hence we end up seeing what? That x will be equal to 75 by 3. That's 25. Yes. So this is a standard equation, single variable में equation है जिसे हमें solve करना है, right? If we don't want to mess this up by bringing in a new variable, we don't want to make it into a quadratic equation of that sort, right? कुछ नहीं करना है. Since we end up making it into a linear equation, that makes it so much simple to make this x as 25. अब x की वैल्यू आ गई. So now I think we can figure out everything else, right? X is 25. Let's start from here. 25 into 2 is 50. 50 and 50. Yes. X is 25. Here also 25. जहां पर भी simpler versions है वहां पे मैं कर रहा हूं. 25 plus 15 is 40. So this should basically be 50 minus 40. That's 10. 25 minus 15 is 10. Beautiful. Just cross checking, है ना? 2x is 100. Sorry, 2x is 50. 50 minus 1 is 49. So 49 plus 1, 50. Make sense? Apart from all of this, सारी जगह पे हमने x को replace कर दिया. बस यहाँ पे x की वैल्यू लगानी है so that we could get what I1 is, है ना? I1 का वैल्यू निकालना है. That's it. So x को अगर मैं 25 लगाता हूँ, so I would end up getting what? 100 into 25 minus 15 is 10 divided by 25. This is once, this is 4 times. 4 into 10 is 40. So we end up getting what? I1 की वैल्यू अगर 40 है, I1 की वैल्यू अगर 40 है, so we should have I2 as what? Total is 100. 100 minus 40. This should be 60. Yes, if you want, you can also replace x as 25 here and check. So 75 into 40, 75 into 40 divided by 50 you do, you will get 60 here as well. Done. So now we have our complete table filled. Yes, we call this as our bay for obvious reasons. Okay, because this is the one true love that we were searching for so that we could answer the question. तो इसे रख के अब फटाफट हम क्वेश्चंस की तरफ चल सकते हैं. We have everything figured out here. We have the questions, very direct ones. What was the total number of households met by T, H and L on the first day? So on the first day, total houses met would be these, which adds up to how much? 60, 70, 70 plus 14 is 84. So the answer to this question, 84 households. Yes, perfect. Moving on to the second question. How many TRICCEK items were sold? कितने बिके थे पूछ रहे हैं. By T on first day. So by T on first day, the number of items sold were 40. Perfect. Answer here is 40. Easy 3 marks. provided we solve this table. Okay. Moving on to question 3. How many households did L meet on the second day? Now, question 3 and 4 हमने देखा कि वहां पे आंसर चॉइसेस जो है डायरेक्ट नहीं है बट रेंज में दिए हैं, राइट? बट व्हाट हैव वी नोटिस्ड, हमने नोटिस किया कि पूरा टेबल, ऑल द डेटा आर वेरी डायरेक्ट. We don't have any range, we don't have any variable, so we're safe here. How many households did L meet on the second day? So L meeting on the second day, we have a direct value here, 25. But looking at this, is 25 20 or less than 20? No. Is it between 30 and 35? No. Is it more than 35? No. So the only option that fits in is here. 21 and 29 के बीच में है 25. Sorted? Perfect. So this could actually end up confusing us, है ना? This could cause a little bit of confusion. We would end up having a second thought के क्या ये table, क्या ये bay complete होगी या नहीं होगी, right? So this is to only create some kind of a confusion. Moving on to the next question. How many households did T meet on the first day? How many did T meet on the first day? T meeting the number of houses on the first day is 10. The answer here is 10. 10 is not more than 40. 10 is not between 11 and 20. It is less than 11. T is not between 21 and 40 either. So we end up having what? Option B. Normally what happens is we think whenever the word less is there, it has to be less than 10. No. So they're saying either 10 or could be less than 10, right? So either 10 is here. This is what they're saying. Yeah, whatever is our answer, y is less than or equal to 10. So one of the cases is y being equal to 10. The other cases being y being less than 10 also, right? So this also is present here. This actually kind of caused a lot of confusion in some people during the test, but I hope this helps. Yeah. So we've completed the 4 questions. Let's have a look at the 5th one. If you had read, so I normally encourage people to do this, that whenever you read the instructions of the set, immediately after that, have a look at the questions and read them thoroughly. Why? This question is a pure case of brownie. Why? Because we have a clue here that says T's success rate was twice of Lahore on first day, 75% of Lahore on the second day. So the 4 options that we have, yes, out of the 4 options, we have option D that says among the 3, T had the highest success rate on second day. Is that actually possible? If you read this part, it was 75% of L. So T's success rate was actually 75%, 3/4 of L success rate on the second day, right? That basically shows what? That L's value is greater than T ka value, or T's success rate is less than L success rate. This is this statement shows that option D is false. Yes, this shows that option D is false, and this is called a brownie question. If you read the question carefully and understand what it is trying to say, this easy 3 marks. Now a lot of people, kind of tested me earlier कि sir CAT में brownie questions आते हैं क्या? Definitely yes. दिख रहा है? और ये दीदी देखो आपको बोल रहे थक गए होंगे सेट सॉल्व करते करते, ये लीजिए ब्राउनी ले लीजिए, ठीक है? So here this is an easy question where if you read the question carefully, you should be able to get easy 3 marks. Yes, easy 3 marks. No need to break any sweat, no need to do anything. You get easy 3 marks here. Yeah, and this is what improves your percentile. Okay, but I don't want to leave this at this, so let's also solve this in detail with the respect to the data that we have. So let's see. Among the 3, T had the highest success rate on first day. T ka success rate on the first day is how much? T's success rate on the first day is 40 divided by 10, 4. 100 divided by 49 is a little over 2. 50 divided by 25 is exactly 2. Who has the highest? T has the highest. So the first statement is not false, it's actually true. ये वाला statement true है. This cannot be our answer. Option B, T had a higher success rate on first day compared to second day. So T का first day and T का second day का success rate पूछे. T का first day is 4. T का second is 60 by 40, that's 3 by 2, 1.5. Is 4 greater than 1.5? Yes, it is. That means this statement is also true. We don't want that. We are looking for false. Among the three, L had the lowest success rate on first day. Is it true? Did L have the lowest success rate? Yes. This is 4. This is a little more than 4. 100 by 50 is 2. That's a little more than 2. 100 by 50 is 2. 100 by 49 will be a little more than 2. So this is 4. This is greater than 2, but this is exactly 2. This has to be the lowest. That means statement 3 is exactly true, leaving off only one option for us out of 4. If 3 are eliminated, that has to be the answer. But just to reconfirm, among the 3, T had the highest success rate on the second day. Shall we check that? T's success rate is 1.5. This is 0 by 1, which is 0. Okay. So it's greater than H. But is it greater than L? No. L success rate is 2. So 2 is greater than 1.5. So 1.5 cannot be the maximum. Hence giving us what? Option D to being the false statement. Cool? Yes. So this is one of those direct math-based distribution missing data sets where you end up having a variable. But if you think about this carefully, you can actually solve this directly. So I hope this particular explanation helped you. Now let's move on to the second set. The name of the second set is revenue versus employees, where we have a pure DI set completely engulfed in calculations, where we have multiple charts and both of them are scatter plots, right? We have 2 scatter plots which we have to answer. Let's have a look at it. So if you have a quick look at this question, it definitely gives us heavy data vibes. Yeah. So let's have I'm going to move away, hit pause, have a look at the set, and then we'll get on with this. Perfect. So now that you've read it, let's read it together and see what understanding we could get out of it. Since the data here seems a little too small, I'm going to split this into 2 parts so that it becomes easy for us to read and understand. So let's have a quick read at the intro. The 2 plots below show data for 4 companies codenamed ABCD over 3 years, 19, 20 and 21. So 4 companies and 3 years. Okay. We have 4 companies and we have 3 years. The first plot shows the revenues and costs incurred by the company. So here we have revenue and cost. And the second plot shows the number of employees. So we're going to have a look at these plots in a more magnified way. The first plot shows the revenue and the cost incurred by the companies during these years. Now, if you are somebody who is not very sure of reading a scatter plot, it's your usual XY plot where you have one piece of data on the x-axis and the other piece of data on the y-axis. And whichever matches that coordinate is where the data is placed. So here an example is also given for us to ensure that even if you don't know how to read a scatter plot, if you read the example carefully, you will kind of understand it. For example, in 2021. So if you look at it, we should probably have 12 data points, right? 4 companies into 3 years, 4 into 12, 12 coordinates we will have. So they're talking about 2021 and company C. If you focus carefully, you will notice that each year has been color coded. Yeah. So 2021 is gray dot. See, all 2021s are gray dots. Yes. Of these, we are talking about what? Company C. So company C is here. This is where we have. Other years also you can notice. 2020 is an orange square. 2020 everywhere is an orange square. And 2019 everywhere is a blue triangle. Okay. So they are not only color coded but also shaped. Make it easy for us to, grasp it even if there's some issue with the screen or whatever. So with the going with the example, C earned 100 crores in revenue. So if you notice, look at the graph here. The x-axis is talking about revenue in crores and the y-axis is talking about cost in crores. Yeah. So what should it mean? Company C in 2021's revenue was 100 crores and its cost in the y-axis shows us between 40 and 20, that's 30 crores. Yeah, so this is 30 crores is the cost and 100 crores is the revenue. That's a well performing company. So I hope this is clear. So you can get all these data by going for the coordinates. Now I know you will not have the luxury of drawing lines. Yeah. So what you can do to make this a little more doable and easy is use the pen, because you will not be allowed to bring in a scale or a ruler or whatever. So you can either use your admit card, or you can use your pen to pretend as a scale. That makes it easy for you. So let's say if you want to find out what C's value is, although there's a line, but for example, D 2021. So what you can do is use your pen to see that it's between 60 and 80. Yeah. Now CAT has been very kind to us in order not make the plots very complex. Complex नहीं बनाते ज़्यादा plots को, जहाँ पे decimals में points में value हो. They'll try to keep it as sophisticated as possible. They'll bring in integers only, and usually जब भी आपको लगता है कि दोनों guidelines grid lines के बीच में है, तो it will always be in the middle. Average ही होगा 80 और 60 के बीच में 70, right? So that way CAT is very sweet and humble to us, unlike some other tests. Okay, cool. So ऐसे ये पढ़ लेंगे. So from here we can get the revenue. From here we can get the cost, and profit कैसे मिलेगा? Generally हमें पता है profit क्या होता है, but still they're being kind enough to let us know. The profit of a company is defined as its revenue minus its cost. So revenue minus cost करेंगे तो profit मिल जाएगा. मतलब C 2021 का 100 crores minus 30 crores 70 crores का उनका profit था. ठीक है? So this is the first plot. We have 12 तो coordinates है. That means x में एक and y में एक. That means 12 into 2 24 data है, right? 24 data values है. Cost, revenue, each company, each year. Okay, 24 data values in the first one. If you have a look at the second plot shows the number of employees employed by the company, which is also called as employee strength, at the start of each year. हर साल के start में दिया हुआ है, as well as the number of new employees hired each year. For example, so this is also a standard scatter plot where you have some data on the x-axis, employee strength, and on the y-axis we have the number of new hires. Okay. तो कंपनी बी का अगर अपन देखेंगे, यहाँ पे भी it could lead to some kind of confusion के what exactly is going on. So always read the example carefully. Company B 250 employees in 2021. So company B 2021 ये रहा. यहाँ पे भी सेम कलर कोडिंग दिया है. ग्रे डॉट इज फॉर 2021, ऑरेंज स्क्वायर इज 2020, ब्लू ट्रायंगल्स आर 2019. ठीक है, गेटिंग बैक टू दिस, बी 2021 का अगर हम देखेंगे तो 250 एम्प्लॉइज थे स्टार्ट ऑफ 2021. सी 250 एम्प्लॉइज स्टार्ट ऑफ 2021 एंड 30 न्यू एम्प्लॉइज ज्वाइन द कंपनी ड्यूरिंग द ईयर. ये प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, 250 पहले से थे जब साल शुरू हुआ 2021 का. I don't know, are they going by the calendar year or by the financial year, but just assuming January 1, ठीक है. So January 1, 2021 में 250 employees थे. January 1 से लेके December 31 तक 30 new joinees हुए थे. ठीक है, throughout the year, during the year. So ये start of the year है और ये during the year है. ठीक है, during the year. Cool. So जरूरी नहीं है end of the year ही हो, जरूरी नहीं मार्च में ही हो. Anywhere throughout that 365 days. ठीक है, cool. So now again, what do we have here? Here also we have 24 data points. 3 companies, 4 years. 4 companies, 3 years. That's 12. And X में value, Y में value. Okay, so 24 data values here as well. Now, if we go back to the questions, let's have a look at the questions. सारे questions जो हैं कुछ भी value नहीं मांग रहे. They're not asking the value of anything. All of these questions are comparative questions. देखो, considering all 3 years, which company had the highest annual profit? Which of the 4 companies experienced highest annual loss? The ratio of company's annual profit to its cost is called performance. What we call it is as profit percentage. है ना, by 100 करते तो profit percentage. Which of the 4 companies had the lowest value? Total number of employees lost in 1920. Lost कितने employees निकले, बाहर गए. Least किसका था? Question 5 पूछ रहा है profit per employee is the ratio. So profit per employee. This is where you combine both the graphs. एक में एक ग्राफ में आपको profit मिलेगा, दूसरे में employees मिलेंगे, उसका ratio बोला है ना. So this is also they are talking about what, which of the four companies had the highest. So all the 5 questions में exact value लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, but I'll tell you what, although 24 and 24 48 data points लिख के उन्हें compute करना could be time consuming, right? But for me accuracy will always have more priority than time consumption. Yes. So we've seen in this year is 2022 में of the 2 doable sets, एक तो बहुत easy था. It did not eat up much of our time, right? So the second set, even though if it takes more time, but अगर I can get it accurately done, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कोई values नहीं है, approximation could be troublesome. 5 points here or there, 10 points here or there, अगर ये थोड़ा भी issue create किया तो अपनी accuracy की धज्जियां उड़ जाएगी, right? So since our aim is out of the 4 sets, we do 2 with highest accuracy possible. इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए, what I decided to do, although this is not the usual public opinion, कि 24, 48 data points लिखने में time चला जाएगा, I know, I understand, I agree. But मैंने जब solve किया था, I tried to do it without taking the data into consideration. But in a student's perspective, जो test exam center में बैठा है and with all of the pressure kicking in and your adrenaline kicking in, there are high chances of making a mistake with reading the plot, है ना? कई बार plot पढ़ने में गलती हो जाती है, कई बार we miss out the year, sometimes the company, basic human nature, I understand. So the decision, that was very difficult, it was a difficult decision to make, but I had to do it, right? So मैंने क्या किया, मैंने 2 tables बनाए, yes, each of them having 48 data points, and क्योंकि हमने देखा था there were 3 questions that were dealing with profit, तो मैंने profit भी निकाल लिया. So table 1 is from the plot 1, जहाँ पे we have company, revenue in crores, cost in crores, profit in crores. मैंने यहाँ पे color code भी किया, which you cannot, I know, ठीक है, आप नहीं कर सकते वो. So you can either use the direct name and the year, which is what I've also done. ठीक है? So A 2019, A 2020, A 2021. If you want, you can, kind of brighten this, बताने के लिए कि एक कंपनी का खत्म हो गया, so that you don't make a mistake with understanding it. ठीक है? Same way B का क्या है, C का क्या है, D का क्या है. And we know that revenue minus cost will give us profit. Revenue से cost अगर हम निकाल देंगे तो profit आ जाएगा. I've also calculated that लगे हाथों, क्योंकि it was asked in 3 questions. Majority questions में profit related पूछा था, तो we are doing that also. ठीक है? Same way, the second plot में से ये data directly निकाल दिया, where we have employee strength and new hires. ये अपने x axis में था, ये y axis में था. There was one question that directly dealt with the number of employees, तो उसे उस time पे देखेंगे. ठीक है? Right now, let's not get into that. So let's get to the question. Now I know what you're thinking, sir, इतना data बनाने में time जाएगा. Like I said, accuracy takes precedence over time consumption, क्योंकि पहला set took very minimal amount of time, ज़्यादा time नहीं खाया था वो. So I think we could give the rest of the time to this, and any extra time that we have is to read the other 2 sets and to try any brownie questions there if possible, है ना? So have a look at this. Considering all 3 years, which company had the highest? So highest maximum ढूंढना है. Annual profit. Yes. Common misconception ये है कि हमें profit ढूंढना होता है, but annual profit means what? Per year. Now, since they have not mentioned which year, it goes without saying कि तीनों साल के profit का average मांग रहे. Yes, an average of all the 3 years. So since we've already calculated profit, which is 90 minus 85 is 5, 90 minus 65 is 25, 60 minus 30 is 30. With this, what are we going to do? क्योंकि हमें इनका average compare करना है. Average of these 3, average of these 3, average of these 3, and average of these 3. We'll add them up, call them total profit, and then figure out a way कि कैसे compare कर सकते हैं. So let's quickly add them up. We have 60 here, so 60 crore का profit हुआ था इनके तीनों साल मिला के. These guy had 75 crores, these guy had 85 crores, and these guys had 10 minus 30. So this is the only year where there has been a loss. सिर्फ एक ही साल है जहां पे लॉस हुआ था, डी का 2020 में, जहां पे 20 करोड़ रुपए का उनका रेवेन्यू था, 20 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू, बट अ 50 करोड़ कॉस्ट was taken up that year, right? So 20 minus 50 is minus 30. Apart from that, the other things that you should probably keep in mind are zeros, है ना, जहां पे there was no profit, no loss, which we call it as break even, है ना. So there were 2 years where there was a break even and 1 year was a loss. So if we notice, company D had suffered enough. Yes, 10 minus 30 and 0. Cool. So getting back to this, 10 minus 30 plus 0 is minus 20. So on the whole, also in the 3 years, there was a 20 crore rupees loss for company D. Okay. So they're asking about highest annual profit. We know one company that we can blindly eliminate is company D because this was the only one with a loss. Apart from that, these three, what we can do is we have to take the average now. But since yahan par bhi we have by 3 for 3 years, right? Annual bola hai for 3 years, so by 3. We can ignore that. You don't have to sit and divide. You can just see jiska numerator sabse zyada hai, that will be the highest. So we have 85 being the maximum value and 85 is for which company? Company C. We have option A, company C to be our answer. Easy. Yes. Now it does seem easy because ये पूरा calculation पहले से कर रखा था and we simply just had to add it. ये time खा जाएगा, right? Getting these 24 pieces of data fit into a table would eat up a lot of time. But wasn't it worth it? Look at our accuracy now. There's no second guessing, कोई thoughts नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है. Directly we can jump and click on the answer and move ahead without having a thought के what if ऐसे लाइन को इंटरप्रेट करे बिना ऐसे करना था, because that's how normally we should be doing this set is looking at the plot को देख के we have to figure out के from the median line, let's say ये median line है, ठीक है, इसके ऊपर जो भी values हैं उसका new hires will be greater, but the problem here is what, यहाँ पे employee strength का अगर आप देखोगे scale भी अलग है. Yes, the scale is different. यहाँ पे 0 to 50, यहाँ पे 0 to 10 है. Yeah, so यहाँ पे ये करके कोई फायदा नहीं है. There's no point in doing this. But here you can, क्योंकि यहाँ पे the scale is 20 units and here also 20 का है, तो यहाँ पे you can actually do this is pretend that you have an imaginary line here going through the middle. जो भी इससे ऊपर है उनका cost ज्यादा था from the revenue. जो भी इसके ज्यादा नीचे है, बहुत ज्यादा नीचे है, उनका revenue was significantly higher than the cost. That's why if you notice, C in 2021 had 100 crore का profit. Where else do we have? We have company C here also. See, company C का profit was significantly there, था वहां पे. But दोबारा वही दिक्कत है ना, ये बार बार करने से अच्छा है. For every question, doing this every single time could eat up a lot of time and will massively hit your accuracy. So, like I said, not your common public opinion, but I still decided to go with the data directly than by interpreting the graph. And ये जो मैंने line बनाया, that luxury you will not have. So आपको बार बार पेन रख के अपना हाथ ऐसे रख के करना पड़ेगा, which didn't make sense to me. So yeah, this we have done. Question number 1. That's crazily done. Superb. Let's have a look at second question. Which of the 4 companies experienced the highest annual loss? The moment you hear the word loss, you know there was only one instance where there was a loss, and that instance was which? Company D in 2020. So here we have company D 2020 where there was a loss. Every other year we've seen there was no loss. There was either break even or there was profit only. So the answer to this question would be company D, option A. कंपनी डी का था हाईएस्ट लॉस, विच ईयर नहीं पूछा है, बट इट्स स्टिल अंडरस्टैंडेबल. ठीक है, अगेन दिस यू कैन स्टिल डू इट फ्रॉम द ग्राफ, राइट, प्रोवाइडेड यू आर कंफर्टेबल विद अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस मीडियन लाइन दैट वी हैव ड्रॉन. ठीक है, सो विच एवर कंपनी हैज more distance, more deviated from this median line will probably have a heavy loss. Yeah, if you are not able to draw this line accurately, ये आपको बहुत confuse कर देगा, because we are seeing A का loss है, D का loss है, but it's actually not, right? When you draw the line, it's supposed to go through all of these points, which will show that these are on the line. So I'll see if I can draw an accurate one. I know I can't, but I'll still give it a shot. ठीक है? Yeah, see? This is where we end up making a mistake. So it's actually not meeting from here. We'll start from here. Let's see. We basically need a slope of 1. Okay. Becoming more and more technical as I talk about it. So I might as well just draw it and get it over with. Okay. So now do you notice? Do you see how you have B in 2021 and D in 2021 are on the line? That means their revenue and their cost were equal. Revenue and the cost were equal. And anything that is above this line, unka cost zyada tha than revenue. This is the only year that we see that's above the line. Can you notice this? Baki sare line ke niche hain. So for the first question, it could kind of become a little difficult to interpret that directly. But second question, phat se ho jayega. Yes. The second question actually turns out to be more of a brownie question where we see that there's only one coordinate जो line के ऊपर है, बाकी सब कुछ line के नीचे है. But would you be able to do this is my question. क्या आप ये screen पे कर पाओगे? नहीं. You'll also need an extremely long pen to do that. So here you can use your admit card. Okay, I know that's not the right tool, but end up using the admit card here to ensure कि आपको ये थोड़ा समझ में आ जाए. ठीक है? या फिर you do what I did, directly go for the data. Yes, जैसे हमने किया था यहाँ पे, data ले लो, you will get the answer there directly. ठीक है? Done? So I know this is not a very direct one, but we can actually end up calling this a brownie. If you have the time to read the set and understand, you can actually do this without even solving it. ठीक है? चलो, perfect. Moving on. Question number 3. The ratio of company's annual profit to annual cost. Profit to cost is called its performance. So which of the 4 companies had the lowest value of this ratio in 2019? We've seen over the years that company D was the worst performing one. So we should put our money on company D. But let's see. So 2019 का देखना है. Company D का क्या है? Profit by cost 10 by 40 is 0.25 है ना? 1 by 4. Let's make it even interesting by bringing in fractions. 1 by 4 है ये. Yes. But let's also look at for other years because you don't want to blindly go for it. क्योंकि ये ratio है. This is ratio, percentage. तो numerator जितना important है उतना ही important आपका denominator भी है. If you want this entire fraction to be the lowest, अगर ये पूरा आपको कम चाहिए, full fraction if you want the lowest, then you need a low numerator and a high denominator, right? Only then you'll have the least possible value of this entire fraction. I hope you're getting this, okay? So getting back to the matter at hand, for 2019, 5 by 20 is 1 by 4 again. So we have 1 by 4 here, 1 by 4 here as well. So I know D or C cannot cut it because their ratios are equal, okay? These two won't cut it. So it should either be B, 25 by 75 is 1 by 3, or ये जो हमने बात करी थी, numerator being the least possible, denominator being the maximum possible, you can clearly see it here. Out of all, if you see, 5 is the least. ये एक 5 है, दूसरा 5 ये है. So between the two 5s, the highest denominator 20 और 85 में क्या है? 85. So 5 by 85 is a massive 1 by what? 17? Yeah. So 1 by 17 is way lesser than 1/3 or 1/4. Yes. So again, this you can directly get it from the chart, but क्योंकि percentage है, it could be a little risky. ठीक है? And profit की बात करिए. Not if it were direct cost to revenue, that was also understood, but you can actually do that also. Cost to revenue जिसका सबसे ज्यादा होगा ratio 85 by 90 is the maximum ratio जिसका maximum होगा उसका 90 by 85, my bad, 90 by 85 उसका profit उतना ही होगा, right? So you can do that, like I said, accuracy over time. ठीक है? So we see company A, which is option A here, is our answer. Cool? Yeah. Done. सबसे कम किसका है? Company A, 1 by 17. Moving further to question number 4 now. So for the first 3 questions, it was only about cost, revenue and profit, more towards profit. In the second one, and the second part of it, question 4, we also have the employees, okay? So even if you not do this data part, ये पूरा डेटा अगर आप ना भी निकालें, फिर भी with the one graph, एक ग्राफ से आप 3 क्वेश्चन तो डेफिनेटली आंसर कर ही सकते हो. ठीक है. Moving on, the total number of employees lost. So what do we mean by employees lost? Yeah, I'll give a simple example. ठीक है. Jan 1 से 2019 करते हैं. ठीक है. Jan 1 2019 में, right, in A, what did we see? Jan 1 2019 A 150 एम्प्लॉयज थे. ठीक है. 150 एम्प्लॉयज थे थ्रू आउट द ईयर. सो Jan 1 से लेके से 31/1/2019 तक व्हाट डिड वी सी? 20 एम्प्लॉयज और ज्वाइन किए. राइट. सो कैन आई से 150 प्लस 20, we would have 170 employees working in the company in that year. Correct. 170 employees काम कर रहे थे. But we notice that this 170 doesn't reflect here. Why? क्योंकि अगर 31/1/2019 को 170 एम्प्लॉयज हैं, अगर कोई भी एम्प्लॉय छोड़ के नहीं गया है, तो 1/1/2020 में भी 170 एम्प्लॉयज होने चाहिए. करेक्ट. 170 छोड़ा था लास्ट ईयर, ये ईयर चालू होते ही 170 होने चाहिए. बट व्हाट डू वी नोटिस हियर? We notice that the number of employees has dropped. Instead of being 170, we now only have 140 employees. What does it mean? That there was a drop of 30 employees which happened during this year. So during this year, beginning of the year we had 150. Somewhere down the line, 20 more people joined, but 30 people left. So giving that plus 20 minus 30, 10 ka difference is what we see from 150 to 140. I hope you're getting this right. So what do we notice? कि 2019 to 20 की बात अगर हम करें, so what was the loss in 2019? 2019 में 150 plus 20 minus 140, ये से करना है. Add this, subtract here. So 170 minus 140 is 30 employees were lost that year. सही है? Make sense? Can we do the same for 2020? 140 plus 35 is 175. 175 minus 150 is 25. Yeah. Or you can do it like this also. Minus 10 plus 35 is minus 25. Can you do it for this year? You can do 150 plus 25, 175. But do you know 2022 के beginning में कितने employees थे? No. So this data doesn't exist क्योंकि 2022 का data देते, then we could say कितने ना छोड़ के गए. Right? So here we have no clue. This should happen for every single company then. For 2021, we did not have any other data. For the rest, you can quickly calculate. So what is happening? This is minus 30 plus 35 is 5. Minus 30 plus 35 is 5. Same way, minus 10 plus 45 is 35. Yes, minus 10. Yeah. 250 minus 240 is 10. And then okay, ये करते थ्रू आउट में. 320 minus 320 is 0, so plus 45. 320 minus 320 0 is plus 40. This is the most generous, most kind company, company C. Looking at company D now, what do you see? Minus 10 plus 30 is 20. Plus 10, you see here what is happening? 410 से 400 हो गया. So the difference is 10 plus 35. So that has to be 45 employees had left. I hope you're getting this. So 410 plus 35, 445 minus 400 is 45. ठीक है? With this, we have to see for both 19 and 20. सिर्फ 19 का पूछते तो we would only look at these pieces of data. सिर्फ 20 का पूछते तो we would look at only these pieces of data. But they're asking for both. That means we have to go for the total loss. Yes? For both the years. So 30 and 25, we saw a loss of 55 employees. Here we saw a loss of 40 employees. Here we saw a massive loss of 85 employees. And here we saw a 65 employee loss. So which company do you think lost the least number of employees? Yes, least बोला है. So least कहाँ पर है? 40, which is company B. Option C, company B is our answer. Done? Had they asked for the most, then we would have 85. What hurts me the most is why was this not used in another question? Probably because one, they wanted to make this question doable. Yeah. And if you do this and you don't use it in another question, that's painful, right? क्या कर सकते थे, अगर 6 क्वेश्चन सेट वाज देयर आइडिया देन दे कुड हैव यूज्ड दिस, कि इसको रख के एक और सेट, जैसे फर्स्ट 3 क्वेश्चंस एक ही ग्राफ को रख के किया था, they could also have done that, but they also wanted to connect both of these, है ना, दोनों सेट को, दोनों ग्राफ्स को कनेक्ट करे जैसा भी उनको चाहिए था. So having a look at this question, what are they saying? Profit per employee is the ratio of a company's profit upon its employee strength. ठीक है, employee strength. For this purpose, the employee strength in a year is the average of the employee strength. So they're not directly taking the employee strength of that year. Instead, they're bringing in another calculation, that is employee strength at the beginning of that year and the beginning of the next year का average. तो अगर 2020 का पूछा है, then we have to take the average of 2020 and 2021 के beginning वाला value. Yeah, that's the x-axis वाला value. So 140 and 150 का average क्या होगा? 145. सेम वे यहाँ पे बी का अगर आप देखोगे 240 एंड 250 का एवरेज क्या है? 245. 320 एंड 320 का एवरेज है 320. 410 एंड 400 का एवरेज है 405. So these values are not very far apart from any one of these values. 140 or 150 is very close to 140 and 150 also very close, right? So even if you were not to bring up the actual data, you can still make out from the data here. And यहाँ पे profit तो हमने calculate किया ही था for all the 4 years for 2020. ठीक है, 25, 50, 10 and minus 30. यहाँ पे क्या पूछा है? In 2020, which of the 4 companies had the highest profit per employee? Highest profit per employee. One no-brainer, blind elimination is what? Company D. क्यों? क्योंकि इसका नेगेटिव है. I know negative will be the least possible value. अगर 0 भी होता तो उससे भी कम है ये. So company D can blindly be eliminated. Between the other companies now, we want this entire fraction. ये पूरा fraction हमें क्या चाहिए? Maximum चाहिए. मतलब यहाँ पे numerator as high as possible and the denominator should be as low as possible, right? तभी ये overall value सबसे ज़्यादा होगा. Yeah. So if you notice, इनमें से सबसे कम denominator क्या है? A का 145. But does it also reflect there in B? In the profit? 25 is not the maximum, 50 is the maximum, but we're kind of stuck here now, right? So it's either A or B or C. It's definitely not D. So the one way to think about this is to get the actual values there of the ratio. So फटाफट कर लो, don't waste too much time in analyzing this where you can actually directly do it. So crores को मैं नहीं ले रहा हूँ, I'm taking 25 by 145. कंपनी बी के केस में क्या है? 50 by 245. एंड कंपनी सी के केस में क्या है? 10 by 320. ओके, so we want maximum fraction possible. Here you can use the calculator if you want, but I would say values बहुत दूर है, एक दूसरे से बहुत दूर है, so you can directly also do it. यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे 10 by 320, 10 by 300 is 1 by 30. 1 by 30. Yes, seems like apart from D, this has to be the least. 1 by 30 0.3% है ना, not even 3.3%, 0.3%, sorry, 3% का है ये. 100 by 30 is 3%. Let's not get into percentage also, but directly do it. 1 by 30 है. Let's look at this. 50 by 245. 50 by 250 होता तो 1 by 5 होता. Yes, that's about 0.2, 20%. And 25 by 145. So अगर ये 25 by 125 होता, 25 into 5 is 125 है ना, 25 by 125 होता, so this would have been 1 by 5. We know that this value is way less than 1 by 5. Yes, it's almost 1/6. क्योंकि 25 by 150 is 1 by 6 है ना, so it's almost 1/6. So of the three values, सबसे कम 130, 1 by 30, yes, least. So you only have to go for the least new denominator. Denominator सबसे कम जिसका होगा, fractional value उसका सबसे highest. So this has to be this. Yes, सबसे maximum यही है. Then this, and then D. So the order is B, then A, then C, and at the end D. So they are asking for which one will be the highest, and this is what? Company B, which is option A again. Yeah. So यहाँ पे in this, in this set, what we've noticed is कैलकुलेटिव है, yes, but it's a more intuitive calculation, right? कि आप कैसे, how do you do the calculation to make it not seem as calculative. Yeah. So of the 5 questions that we've noticed, of the 5 given questions, the one question that you can blindly do it would be question 2, right? Question 2 is a brownie because you could directly look at the graph and get it over with. But for the rest, you should either on the spot take each of the values and calculate and do, or do what I did, make the table beforehand, table बनाओ और फिर calculation करो ताकि आपको इतना difficult ना लगे in understanding and analyzing it. ठीक है? So we've seen all the 5 questions of this particular set. Yes. With this, we are done with the easier, more doable part of CAT 2022 slot 2. In the coming week, I'll also bring the hard ones because I don't want you to think कि sir hard है इसलिए आपने नहीं किया. No. So I'm going to bring them next week when we do hard questions of 2022 slot 2. Until then, all the very best, guys. Cheers.